And it is going to be a great one here tonight at Glacier Peak High School, home of the Grizzlies. Ladies and gentlemen, girls basketball at its finest. Wesco basketball at its finest. Wesco 4A action featuring the visiting team, the Lake Stevens Vikings, 7-1 in conference play, 11-3 overall, against the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, 9-0 in conference play, 13-2 overall. They're in first place. Lake Stevens is in second, and you, our viewers, are number one to us. I'm Mark Aucutt along with Todd Elvig here at Glacier Peak High School, and our presenting sponsor is Speedway Chevrolet. We got a dandy for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as the Grizzlies host the Vikings. And the Vikings, home of a new gym over there at Lake Stevens High School, that's a friendly environment. They're here tonight in a not-so-friendly environment because the Glacier Peak fans are fired up, ready to go. The band is going. But as always, or for the most part, Lake Stevens always bringing a lot of fans over. So it's going to be loud and proud in here tonight. What do you got, boss?
We haven't broadcast from the new gym yet.
Been trying to. You know, actually, I was scheduled to be there a couple of weeks ago. For the other broadcast outlet that Tom Lafferty's the sports director for. We had it all set up. He had tested everything, and then it snowed. You and I were snowed out the night before on that Monday,
Yep.
then we got snowed out there. That game is going to be played coming up. I believe it was Kamiak and Lake Stevens. That is going to be played on Saturday, and Tom's going to do that on the other network.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's and Mike Buckholz, too. They're going to be working together. This is going to be a great game. What can you say? Let's get to the lineup right away. First of all, for the Lake Stevens Vikings, starting as a 5'9 sophomore guard, Chloe Pattison. Also starting as a 5'7 sophomore guard, Baylor Thomas. Starting as a 5'7 senior guard, Reagan Reed. Also, and here's a taller player, a couple of them coming up, 6'2 sophomore forward, Corey Wilcox. And a 6'4 sophomore forward, Camille Jentz. That is, once again, Pattison, Thomas, Reed, Wilcox, and Jentz. And the head coach in his 18th season, Randy Edens. That guy has just done a fabulous job for Lake Stevens. Also the assistant, Joe McKinney and Steve Berg. Now let's take a look at the home team, the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. First of all, starting as a 5'6 junior guard, Aaliyah Collins. Also starting as a 5'7 senior guard, Shaylin Sandy. As a 5'5 junior guard, Malia Smith. Also in the post, a 6-foot junior, that is Madison Rubino. And rounding out the lineup is a 5'8 junior guard, Maya Erling. So again, it is Collins, Sandy, Smith, Rubino, Erling. For head coach Brian Hill in his 12th year, and their assistant coach is Miles Guerra. I'll tell you, what a great matchup between these two coaches, too. They have come up against each other a lot. For us, they're both fantastic to work with. We love coming here. We love going to Lake Stevens. We will look forward to seeing the new gym when you get a chance. And just the stage is perfectly set for this one. Lake Stevens comes in with an RPI ranked 11th in the state. Glacier Peak is at 13. And the number one team in RPI in the state of Washington would be the Woodinville Falcons. Officials for this game, Donnie Johnson, Steve Landro, and John Brown. That's a great crew right there. We are stacked up and ready here tonight as these two teams get ready to get after it. And we're going to take a break coming up. It is Lake Stevens, the Vikings, against Glacier Peak, the Grizzlies, here on STSPN.com. Let's rock and roll after this timeout.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
Since 2003, Gamut 360 Holdings has been recognized as a premier local builder of new homes and commercial properties in the Puget Sound area. Our 360-degree construction approach matches first-class materials with the highest construction standards to create truly unique and timeless communities for our Northwest neighborhoods. Visit Gamut360.com and discover the home that matters most to you.
Let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Glacier Peak High School, the host school. The band is alive and going across the way from us. They've been going loud for about 20 minutes. In the JV game, Glacier Peak defeated Lake Stevens 38-34. Looking at some other numbers, Glacier Peak averages 63.3 points per game, and their opponent's only 35.5, so they got a plus differential of 27.8. For Lake Stevens, they average 63.7, so offensively they're right about the same as Glacier Peak, and defensively they're at 46 points a game that they have allowed, so a plus differential of 17. So both these teams like to keep those opponents down on the scoreboard, and that's the reason why they're the 1 and 2 teams in the Western Conference 4A. I tell you, this is a great league to be part of. Jackson right behind Lake Stevens at 6-3, Mount Vernon 4-5, then Monroe, Kamiak, Mariner, and Cascade. Here we go. We are underway as Peak will win the tip, and we are into action here, first quarter at Glacier Peak High School. Thanks for being with us on STSPN.com. Our sponsor presenting the game tonight is Speedway Chevrolet. That's a beauty. Coming through, Maya Erling gets them started. She's averaging 15 points per game for the Grizzlies. The quick release, she had a good amount of spacing there and got the job done. Here goes Lake Stevens. Oh, they throw the uniform challenge at us with the black uniforms and the silhouetted numbers. Glacier Peak much easier to read. There's another three from the other end. How about that? Baylor Thomas tying it up. 3-pointers on each end in our first minute of action. Well, it'd be nice if we see some good shooting out there tonight. Oh, there's more of it. Maya Erling showing great touch early on, Todd. We may have something tonight here with a lot of points. We'll see. Of course, you know they'll adjust some defense out there. Looks like some man-to-man going for the Glacier Peak out there as they have the ball poked away. Good defense right there, forcing her out top. Yeah, you got to like this, and that's the thing about Glacier Peak. They will apply that pressure both in the front court and in the back court. Thrown out of bounds. That defense pays off, Todd. Right there. I mean, that is a perfect indication. She came out high on her and it forced really for Lake Stevens to have a problem as far as adjusting, and she threw it out of bounds. Oh, now there's another turnover. Goes the other way. Defense great the other way. We're going to see it on both ends. I'll tell you that right now. Thrown away. Coming back the other way. Good passing. Good ball movement. Can she hit the shot? Yes, she can. Wow. That was fantastic. Coming through, Aaliyah Collins off the pass from Aaliyah Smith. That would be Aaliyah from Aaliyah.
Yeah, that's
You got to like that. 7-3 is the score. This is the biggest lead of the game for Glacier Peak. Lake Stevens has not led as of yet. About 2 minutes in to the first quarter, nearly intercepted. They go inside, then outside. Rimming out, good positioning right there underneath the basket for Glacier Peak was Madison Rubino. Her sister, Sarah Rubino, a junior, up from JV, also on the roster for this game, and also a freshman, Kailani Rookstuhl is on board for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Miss and a rebound. Quickly out of backcourt. I like watching this young lady play, Reagan Reed. We saw her earlier this year, and just a fabulous player. She was in the tournament here, although they only played one game at the top of the Peak tournament. Look at that steal. Oh, she heard the footsteps. Great follow-up. Maya Erling right on the spot, trailing perfectly, and that looks like nobody touched it. That's got to be going to Glacier Peak. Yeah, it's a 9-3 lead as the Grizzlies up by 6 points here in the early going. 5:14 to go here in the first quarter. Now, it's important I call out the time, right, because the clock isn't up or synced, right? Here they have not put in our favorite Daktronics scoreboard. We're pushing for that. There it is. Wow. Malia Smith. And it is a 12-3 lead. 12-3. 9-point lead, 5:09 to go in the first quarter. This is your home worldwide for high school sports, STSPN.com.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 12-3 is the score A 9-point lead, a great start for Glacier Peak as they're hot from the field. They've already hit 5 field goals. Maya Erling is red hot. She's at 7 points, hit the first basket of the game for either team, a 3-point basket. And Malia Smith also connecting for a 3-pointer as Lake Stevens getting hit by a 2x4 from Glacier Peak to get things started here. Like, okay, we got to unnumb and get going. That was a nice drive. She goes with the underhand, but nobody underneath the basket for a follow-up. Yeah, thrown away. A little sloppy there for Glacier Peak. Each team with a couple of turnovers. Pull-up jumper. I think she was thinking right, but that's going out of bounds. Last touch by Lake Stevens. Reagan Reed firing that one away, and it just wasn't on the mark.
Yeah, I think Randy was telling them there at the timeout, said, hey, listen, you got to at least put a hand up.
Oh, yeah, that's so true. Get those hands in the air. Big factor. Always have your hands up. That's such a key. Don't have them down by your waist. Maya Erling again. Holy smokes. Maya has 10 points, 10 of the 15, and it is 15-3.
And you see there's nobody up on her. Nobody.
Right, exactly. You've got to tighten up. You cannot give her or any of these players, especially from what we're seeing tonight. There's a beauty. That's a beauty. And that is Baylor Thomas. So she has all the points for Lake Stevens. 2 3-pointers. Glacier Peak up by 9. Mark Aucutt bringing you the action. And that gentleman you're hearing in the background is Todd Elvig. People just, we know.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we got to introduce you. So there you go, picked off. Here comes Lake Stevens. A lot of traffic. Look out from behind. Now this will be the first foul of the game with 3:50 to go in the first quarter.
Fouls on number 2, Chloe Pattison, her first team.
Chloe Pattison called for the foul, her first. No shots on this one. Glacier Peak will inbound on the right baseline. Looking around, here they go. Traveling. So each team now has 3 turnovers. It's definitely not mistake-free. Glacier Peak's going to make a couple of substitutions. Elise Waldall is in, and also Kaylin Allison. Waldall averages 5 per game. Allison 6. Allison is a senior, and Waldall is a junior. Well, a chance for Lake Stevens to get a little closer here. They trailed 15-3 before the second 3-pointer of the game by Baylor Thomas, who averages 11 points per game. Good ball movement there. She cuts in. Nice pass. Wasn't ready for it, though. It was a little bit low, kind of hard to handle. That's going to bring 2 shots. So we'll see our first trip to the foul line so far, and that will be key in this game if it gets close.
Fouls on number 15, Madison Rubino, her first.
Madison Rubino called for her first foul. First team, each one has a team foul. At the line, Corey Wilcox, the sophomore. Going to be fun to watch her play, grow, and develop. But bricks on the first one.
What's so great is I can see across over there the boys basketball team.
She misses them both. That's not good. Glacier Peak won the first game back on January 4th, 66-52 over at Lake Stevens. Big miss on the inside that time. What were you saying?
I like the support from the students, the boys basketball team.
Yeah, that's always fantastic.
Number 2,
Chloe Pattison gets it done, cutting it to a 7-point deficit. They were down by 12. Inching a little bit closer there. Hand in, doesn't get it. Nope. Good defense. And you see them starting to tighten up defensively. Here comes Lake Stevens, gets it done. Driving through that time, Reagan Reed, and it's just a 5-point lead now. Down from a 12-point lead. 2:40 to go in the first quarter on STSPN.com. The 2-3 setup up front there, and picked off. Another turnover for Glacier Peak. Here come the Vikings. Oh, great defense. Hello. Coming through that time, Aaliyah Collins. And it will be Glacier Peak ball. So each team now with 4 turnovers. Lake Stevens with a couple of substitutions. Emma Lund, the junior, is in.
I think Hunter is trying to use, or Hill is trying to use his bench.
Well, it's important to keep those legs fresh. At the tempo they play, when they're pressing as much as they do, and this game's been pretty upbeat from the get-go. Doesn't make it happen. Follows up, gets the rebound. You got some time. Now she kind of forced that up. They're going to have a third crack at it underneath. No foul. Tapped around. Glacier Peak's going to get a fourth try at it. Slow it up.
Wow.
Yeah, they got to slow it up. No, they're going to go into a more of a half-court set right here. You have plenty of time. You don't have to force it in there. Work for the right shot. There, they got sloppy. Here we go. Going the other direction. Stolen away. Well, back and forth it goes. The teams are having a competition who can have the most turnovers. Underneath, again, you got to think about where you are on the court in relation to the basket. There it is. That was smooth. The cherry picker. Reagan Reed now with 4 points. And look at this. It's just a 3-point lead for Glacier Peak. 9 consecutive points for Lake Stevens with 1:19 to go here in the first quarter. 15 on the shot clock. I like the way that Lake Stevens is extending with their hands out there. That's how you do it. And the defense, superb. Here comes Lake Stevens out of backcourt. They found their footing here. Now exactly 1 minute to go. That's way, way too far to be shooting. I mean, you got plenty of time. Get a little bit closer. Move the ball around. We got a timeout called, 30-second timeout called by Brian Hill. Over on the Glacier Peak side, 53 seconds to go in the first quarter. It's 15-12. A 3-point lead for Glacier Peak. We got more great basketball coming back to you here on STSPN.com.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got another big one tomorrow. Boys basketball, Mariner at Jackson, Todd. You just keep having a great schedule of games. You had a big one here last night. Oh, stolen away. 6 turnover against Glacier Peak. Chance to a tie if they get a three-pointer. Not going to happen that way. That's a held ball. It's going to stay with the Vikings. So, yeah, if they hit a 3-ball, it's a tie, and that would be a 12-0 run after being down 15-3. It's like this quarter has been split in half. Glacier Peak winning the first half, Lake Stevens winning the second half. We got a timeout called by Randy Edens over on the side, and we'll take a timeout as well. This is STSPN.com. So
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do-It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
we are live here at Glacier Peak High School. A couple of half ticks or so, over 33 seconds to go in the first quarter. There's 8 on the shot clock. Lake Stevens has the ball. They will inbound on the left baseline, and they are down by 3 points. They've been down by 12 points. It was 15-3, but they're on a 9-0 run and just called a timeout, and really consecutive timeouts there as everybody trying to get on the same page. Each team with one team foul. Battle between first and second place teams here at Glacier Peak. You better get that ball inbounded. And it is, but stolen away. That's a quick one right there. A little behind her. Yep. You got to look a little bit more on that. She was just kind of throwing it back there, and it's going to be picked off. Here we go, or picked off the rebound. And now there's an interception. 7 turnovers for Lake Stevens. That's a lot for one quarter. And exactly the same for Glacier Peak. And now 8 for Lake Stevens. Bingo! Down the chute, Kaylin Allison. Big 3-ball. And that is the end of the first quarter. This was definitely a spirited first quarter. Exactly what we were looking for. And it's 18-12, Glacier Peak on top. We have the second quarter coming up here on STSPN.com. We're back live. Just so cool to see a very familiar face come up and say hi, and that's Al Rasmussen. He is the longtime supervisor for high school football public address, basketball public address, and wrestling public address, and also announces for the WIAA, and it's been a pleasure and a privilege to work for him. Now going on 13 years there at the Tacoma Dome. I get so excited about that. I know Tall Tom does too. We have a lot of fun talking about that. Steve Willits does. Scott, everybody loves as we work our way towards the woodshed. 18-12 is the score. Oh, ouch.
Lake Stevens basketball.
I was in the woodshed a lot as a kid.
Not hard to believe that. And that woodshed was probably pretty cold since you grew up in Minnesota, right?
Ball out of bounds.
That's the name Elvig.
Yeah, exactly.
What was it like growing up back there? Cold.
And hot.
And hot, too. Yeah, the extremes. That's going to go out of bounds. And another turnover. Jeez.
You know,
man, that's 9 for Lake Stevens and 8 for Glacier Peak. We may see each team tap 20.
These are the number 1 and number 2 teams. You don't expect to see some of these mistakes.
I agree. The only thing I can attribute it to is the fact that they're just so tightly matched that they're just right up on each other. Now, look at all these throwaways like that. Yeah, that's a great point, Todd. Here she comes, and out of bounds. Yeah, it's just like, wait a minute here. And you got to give Lake Stevens a lot of credit, too, because they're reading things so well, especially the last 4 or 5 minutes of this game. Didn't start out so well that way. But they are definitely anticipating extremely well, and they're doing like what we talked about. Get those arms out. Get them in the air. You got to play with your entire body. That's a 5-second violation. So if it isn't a turnover one way, it's a turnover another way. My goodness.
I tell you what, not being able to get the ball in bounds, that's what happened.
No, I'm listening.
Oh.
For once.
I say, as a coach, that is the most infuriating penalty. Turnover.
Yeah, you know, we've seen some nice made baskets, but the rest of it's been pretty ugly so far. You can't sugarcoat the obvious. I mean, just like this, just forcing it around. I mean, slow down. And granted, the defense of Lake Stevens is swarming, but there's a wide open shot. She may have been a little bit out of range, kind of forced it out of there. Good rebound. Excellent. So you got more time on the clock. It resets it at 30 seconds, and let's go. First minute into the second quarter here.
They really are
Neither
well
team
matched.
has scored. They really are. Erling misses. She's been red hot up to this point. 10 points in that first quarter. Kaylin Allison with 3 from Aaliyah Smith for Glacier Peak. Aaliyah Collins with 2.
Oh.
Out of bounds. Man, we just seen far, far too much of that.
These two coaches, Randy and Brian, they have to be just pulling their hair out. Oh, look, Randy's hair is already out.
Oh, there you go.
But seriously, these two teams expect to go far into the playoffs.
Well, I kind of wonder, too, because I'm just thinking, what is causing this like that? Yeah, there's another one. So that is turnover number 10 against Glacier Peak, and Lake Stevens has 11 of them. I think part of it, they are just so amped up playing each other. They really are. Those are amped up turnovers. Those are like, we are just so fired up that when they get into the locker room at halftime, if the adjustments aren't made before then, the coaches need to say, hey, just settle down a little bit.
I think
guys
you're
are
absolutely
just
right there.
playing out of your uniforms. I mean, it's clearly obvious. They're just so – oh, that was a beautiful shot. Reagan Reed now has 6 points. Cuts the lead down to 4. Aaliyah Collins is really fun to watch, the junior. Look at that underneath. Great. Maybe – no, you know what? I don't blame her for dumping off that pass because she wouldn't have had a shot underneath that time. Great defense. Good hustle. Good hustle. But I know that Lake Stevens gets it, but still, that was great hustle by Shaylin Sandy. Oh, that's a foul. Again, they're just – they are so fired up playing against each other. There's no question about that.
Into the game for Lake Stevens, number 2.
Well, Lake Stevens can't believe Glacier Peak came in and beat them. And Glacier Peak's not about to really want to take a chance and let them win here. So
right. All right, they finally go inside. Nice defense. Look at that. Back out top. Rimanata. The block that time was by Madison Rubino. She was right up on her.
Well, I didn't think she was going to be able to get it either because she's got hops, but and I can't even see her number from here.
15.
She's the Lake Stevens, the big girl in the middle.
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's got a little bit of size on her.
She's 6'4".
Yeah.
And just a sophomore. That's something pretty cool to have coming back the next 2 years.
Wow.
Nice touch. Maya Erling, 12 points. Just doing inventory and it's way early, but has she been player of the game yet this year?
Erling?
Yeah. Think hard.
I would imagine.
You need a database. You, Mr. Database, need a database on that. Look at Erling. Ooh. Crashes into her. And again, that's a chance to up the lead to 8 points. You just have to go in there and approach it right, or perhaps pass it off. Look at the hands in there. Madison Rubino. She's playing a very nice game. Hasn't scored any points yet, but so what? Defensively, she's made some great plays. And Madison averages 12 points and 10 rebounds per game. Again, I'm Mark Aucutt with Todd Elvig. Sarah Elvig is here too, providing technical support and essentially supervising the two of us, as usual, and doing a great job at it. We haven't gotten in trouble yet. There's a pass inside, and that's going to be off the glass. Here comes Erling out of backcourt, over on the right side. Don't go too quick, Malia Smith. Collins. Sandy. Nope. But they moved the ball well that time. Forced Lake Stevens to spread out defensively. They get a couple of cracks at it. Now here comes Lake Stevens out of backcourt. Oh, my gosh. That was just a mess. It still is. It continues to be. And finally, it's going to be Glacier Peak ending up with the ball underneath. Yes.
Basket by number 15, Madison.
8-point lead. Madison Rubino.
People want to know what the difference between these two teams and the rest of the league is. They're willing to get on the floor.
Oh, yeah, and that's what's so important. You might see that also from
Snohomish.
Yeah.
But that's 3A now.
That's 3A. But also you might see it from Jackson.
Ball out of bounds, Lake Stevens basketball.
The Wesco
a little bit, but
4A.
I think that
but
these
that
was what they were lacking.
These two are definitely in a certain echelon. Every time we see them, they're always diving and going after balls. Just under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
They're scrappy.
Yeah. Well, and that's how you win ball games. That's how you get respect. Now, look at that outlet. That was a beautiful outlet pass. Holy smokes. At least 2 shots on that one. A great outlet after the rebound, and she's up quickly, thank goodness.
That was amazing. I don't have my replay turned on, but, man, I wish I did for that one because she was midair and they took the feet right out from underneath her. That was amazing.
That redefines if you're going to foul her good, because she did. And not intentional. She just didn't want the basket to be scored. That's what's happening tonight. These teams are so driven to try to win this game. I mean, this is fantastic for the
if you or I
girls
would have hit the
basketball
floor
to see
like
this
that,
level of play. What's that?
If you or I would have hit the floor like that.
Well, they'd have been feeling tremors all the way to Renton.
Well, for me, but we'd also probably be in intensive care.
That's true. 10-point lead. They got it back up there, 24-14, a 10-point lead. 3:40 to go in the second quarter. This has been entertaining from the get-go. Great crowd over in the student section for Glacier Peak High School. Big one last night with the boys playing here.
Oh, it was standing room only.
Love to see that. Well, they moved it up top. Doesn't get it done. Nice blocking out that time. Well, she trying to get that board. Ugh. Last touch by Glacier Peak.
Lake Stevens basketball. Into the game for Lake
Coming in for Lake Stevens will be Corey Wilcox. And, Todd, I'm sure you guys mentioned it last night about the tragedy on Sunday with Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and the 7 other people. And there's 9 people that perished in that. I don't want to lose track of that. Obviously, Kobe, a household name and an international superstar, and his daughter was probably on the way to being the same type of thing on the women's side. But the 9 going down in that helicopter crash is just – I can't recall something. I think 9/11 hit me along those lines, obviously. But that was just devastating.
Yeah, I thought it was a hoax at first.
Foul is going to be on – let's see, we got here Grace Goodinas, her first third team foul. 2 team fouls for Lake Stevens. Double team, almost beats it. Glacier Peak wins that battle. We got a foul and a reach in. What were you saying there about on the Kobe?
I was saying that when I heard the thing about Kobe, I thought it was a hoax at first.
Well, I think I might have been one of the first to text you on that too, because I know it was as soon as I found out, but then again, I was getting prepared to announce Husky Gymnastics, and I'm getting it from sources around there as it just was happening all the way around me, and I had to pull myself together to be able to announce that event because it was just devastating news. It is devastating news. Outside. Oh, that was just brilliant. Kaylin Allison coming through off the great assist from Collins, and it's up to a 13-point lead. Back to their biggest lead of the game, 27-14, 2:22 to go in the second quarter. Almost doubling up Lake Stevens here. But she's going to draw the foul.
I don't know about that. It looked like she, I can see from way better up here than the ref can from 5 feet away.
I'm sure they'd verify that for you.
Yeah.
Foul's good. Not hardly. Godinez called for her second foul, 14th foul. We got 2 shots coming up.
Well, you have to ask last night when Scott and Tim were doing it, they said that the refs actually had their earpieces in, so they knew what calls to make.
From you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense. And knowing you, with your incredible passion and constant drive for improvement with technology, you probably would try to connect them up down
Well,
there.
that's what we were saying, is that they would blow the whistle, and then they were able to review it on their phones, right, and make the correct call.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, the magic of STSPN. We got a full timeout called, and 27-16 is the score. Glacier Peak up by 11. This is STSPN.com.
It's like a loop machine. All around town, people trying to get down. It's like a loop machine.
Welcome back to STSPN.com. One of the slogans I think we need to incorporate is that we don't affect the gate.
Yeah,
we do not affect the gate. People still come out to the games and watch either here or all over the world. We do not affect the gate.
Just ask Aunt Judy.
Aunt Judy was last night, right?
Yeah, it was.
Where was she at?
She was in Wenatchee.
All right. You got to love that.
But her relatives drove over from Wenatchee.
Okay, who were they watching last night?
They were watching, well, I'm not sure what, they were here to see Glacier Peak, but
okay.
I'm not sure which player. I mean, I know, but I didn't have it in front
We get
of
to
me.
the second half, especially if this widens up on the lead. Not that we want, well, there you go. There's a great basket, and you've got a foul coming up. I still think Lake Stevens is going to tighten it up again. They did it earlier. Maya Erling called for the foul. That's her first. Team foul number 5. Corey Wilcox is going to go to the line with 2 shots. But we got to open it up at some point and see who's online there and chattable. You still going, who are you going for, 49ers in the Super Bowl? Is that what you said last Wednesday when we were at Everett?
It is, because I just can't see the Chiefs being able to.
It's amazing, right on the press table, Jimmy Garoppolo, their quarterback, or at least the guy wearing a Jimmy Garoppolo jersey is
No,
here.
he's here.
Oh, he is here. He wanted to get away from all that amazing media coverage. Look at that. There's Maya Erling. She's on fire. That girl is on fire. She has 15 points. She has half of the points that Lake Stevens has allowed on the scoreboard. Glacier Peak with 30. And Maya with 10 in the first quarter, 5 in the second quarter. She has hit 3 3-pointers, just missed a couple of shots. She's just been amazing. Underneath, Corey Wilcox. Here they go the other direction.
Oh, they got taken away?
Taken away. We also have to tonight and tomorrow check in with our quality control in Magnolia down in King County. We like to make sure that Deborah Larson, our quality control specialist at the Seattle Bureau, is receiving a good signal down there on the 65-incher.
Yeah, make sure she takes a picture of what that looks like.
Yeah, we want a picture of how it looks.
Yeah,
we definitely want to see how it's coming across, and hopefully everything's flowing and streaming just right. So we're down to 50 seconds in the second quarter. It's a 10-point lead for Glacier Peak. Defense really good right there, swarming on the trap. Oh, Erling had a nice release on that, but couldn't get it to drop in there. Ooh, look out, a little tight on the defense. They let him play, though, and it pays off. Aaliyah Collins, look at this. There she goes. Oh, you got to finish those. She has a little bit of a problem with a quick release on that, and you just got to close it out. Otherwise, spectacular.
You know, I don't want to pick on the girls too much, but they do have a habit of getting too far under the basket.
Yes, and it's something, as Maya Erling connects on it, it's something I see as the next level of growth for the girls' game and the women's game. They're just, even if I can do my part to help coach some of that, when you just know where that basket is, and you don't have to throw it up there. Stay out a little further and release a little earlier, or just get your timing down. Whether it's early or late, that seems to be a problem. They have a tendency to jam it under the rim, and I think that's going to be a growth for the game. I think we're going to see in 5 to 10 years that's going to start going away more. And they should be able to do that with all the high school and AAU ball they play.
Oh, my.
It gets to be like professional athletes sometimes.
365.
Yeah. I have mixed feelings about that, too. That's the end of the first half. 32-20 is the score at halftime. Glacier Peak is up by 12 points. It's a 12-point lead for the Grizzlies, but still anybody's ball game. This is intense, and we're going to have a great, intense second half coming up. We'll take a break. This is STSPN.com.
McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's. McDaniel's Do It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, they are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized Do It Best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
It's like a loop machine.
Welcome back, and we are so grateful to have you with us here tonight on STSPN.com as we continue to roll them out. The band continues to pound them out and have a great time across the way. I'm Mark Aucutt, along with Todd Elvig here, as we bring you play-by-play action of the Glacier Peak Lake Stevens girls basketball game. It is 32-20. Glacier Peak is on top by 12, and in the first quarter they scored 18. In the second quarter they scored 14. For Lake Stevens, they scored 12 in the first quarter, 8 in the second quarter. Their leading scorer is Baylor Thomas, 8 points. She hit 2 3-pointers in the first quarter. Also, Reagan Reed with 6, 4 for Corey Wilcox. Chloe Patterson has 2 points. For Glacier Peak, they're led in scoring by the mighty 17 of Maya Erling. She's just been amazing. 6 points for Kaylin Allison, who's hit a couple of 3-pointers. 4 points for Aaliyah Collins, 3 for Malia Smith, and 2 for Madison Rubino. And we are underway to start the second half. The big, really, story in this game has been the amount of turnovers for both teams, although they kind of settled down a little bit towards the end of that first half. But Glacier Peak with a total of 12. They had 7 in the first quarter, 5 in the second quarter, and then for Lake Stevens, they had 8 in the first quarter and 6 in the second quarter for a total of 14. Both teams easily on a pace for over 20, and that kind of stuff has to slow down and stop, especially as you advance deeper into the latter part of the season. And that's just, we'll see how they do in the second half. You know, there was some talking to going on by both coaches in there to get these teams a little more focused and cut down on those turnovers. Also, I think working on looking for better percentage shots, except for her, Maya Erling with a huge first half. Now there's Maya with a great pass to Shaylin Sandy, who picks up her first 2 points of the game, and it's a 34-20 lead, a 14-point lead, which is the biggest lead of the game for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. Underneath, the big girl there, she gets it done.
By number 52, Camille Jentz.
Jentz with her first 2 points of the game. She averages 9 points and 11 rebounds per contest. So Lake Stevens comes right back. Still plenty of time to go, but about a quarter from now, it's really going to get intense for Lake Stevens if they're still down by right around where they're at right now, because Glacier Peak is not going to let up. They will not pull off the gas pedal. Erling taking it into too much traffic. How did she get that ball back? Just off the mark. And the shot clock goes off. You hear that in the background, but it had hit the rim. Looks like we're going to have a jump ball.
Basketball.
That's going to go to Glacier Peak. So they reset it up there with getting the basketball back. 30 on the shot clock, a fresh 30. 6:23 to go third quarter. And this possession right here, they can take some time and hit a three-pointer. They'll have their biggest lead of the game. Turnaround move. Well, she went flying through there, and Collins is extremely quick. She's going to be fouled, and we'll have 2 foul shots.
Chloe Patterson, her third.
That foul's on Chloe Patterson, her third foul.
Shooting free throws for Glacier Peak.
First team foul of the second half against Lake Stevens. Here's Collins at the line. She's 2 for 2 so far, overall with 4 points. Now make it 3 for 3. And she has attempted all of Glacier Peak's foul shots. They are 3 for 3 total. Over on the other side, Lake Stevens was 0 for 2 in the first quarter. She misses the second one. And then they went 2 for 4 in the second quarter, so they're 2 for 6. That makes a difference. Good rebound. Rubino has really played a smart game, Todd. Oh, look at that. Erling underneath. No doubt about it on the pass from Collins. Erling's got 19 big ones, ladies and gentlemen. It is a 15-point lead, 37-22.
That's something Brian was looking for it when they went into the half. I think he was to tell them, say, listen, start playing like a team.
Yes, it's incredibly important, especially as you're getting this deep into the season. Next game for Lake Stevens is at home against Mariner this Friday. And then, again, they'll play hosting Kamiak in that makeup game. That is on Saturday night. Oh, beautiful shot.
Basket, number 14, Baylor Thomas.
Baylor Thomas has hit her third three-pointer of the game. She has a total of 11. We have a timeout. Full timeout called by Lake Stevens. They're down by 12. 37-25, 5:40 left to go, third quarter.
STSPN.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
We're back live. 37-25 is the score. There it is. We got a viewer down below there, Todd. He's holding it up right there. And
I don't think he's watching it from here, though, because there's no reception.
That's the hard part about coming here. For whatever reason, it's in a spot where it's hard to get like really strong internet reception, and we're able to get on, but it's kind of slow to load the pages. Now, one of the other things, and this gentleman was holding up down below, is the incredible, I don't even, what do you call that, graphic? Would you call that graphics? Just beautiful picture of a grizzly bear, and then you have like a Viking portrayal as well.
Yep, grizzly and a woman.
A lady Viking.
A lady Viking.
Very fitting. With the basket, Shaylin Sandy, now 4 points, back to a 14-point lead. So I guess Leif Erickson wasn't available, right?
Yeah, well, that's right.
Well, you probably have to pay copyright fees and all that stuff. It's kind of a big deal. There's a ball nearly going out of bounds. I think she stepped out of bounds.
You know, we want to mention the fact that we're not here at Glacier Peak or at Jackson or at Everett or at Snohomish by accident. Right, we're invited here.
We are invited.
The Booster Clubs invite us here, so you know if you want to see your team on.
Yeah, you know, and it does come up. Well, why are you guys always doing games at? And that doesn't mean that we don't care who comes in to play. The teams that we're at, the schools we're at, but they'll ask, well, why are you just normally at Snohomish, Glacier Peak, Everett, Jackson, Cascade, and down in Meadowdale too, and in that area? Well, we have to be invited. We have to feel welcomed. And we'd like to see some of the schools up north, per se, which have welcomed us in the past, to extend their arms and welcome us. And we'll be there because fans want us there.
Well, officially.
I don't mean just me.
Invited.
I mean the whole, whoever's the crew, whatever the talent is that night. And Todd will be there producing everything. So, or Sarah with him. Basket 2 over on the left side. That was a nice look. She just didn't get the right spot in the cone. Held ball.
Basketball, Lake Stevens basketball.
That's going to be Lake Stevens ball. Down by 14, 4:09 to go third quarter. Let's see, the Vikings have scored 5 points in this quarter.
You did get a report back from the Seattle Bureau.
I did. I got a very positive report and a positive picture from Debbie down at the Magnolia Bureau in King County, which is where we run things. It's kind of like this is Cape Kennedy, and that's the Johnson Space Center. And we make sure that we get just a feed report as to how things are looking out there. Man, she took a picture of how it looks on the screen there, and our feed looks really good. It's really fun to blow this picture up on a real large flat screen.
Yeah.
65 inches in that case. Now we have a foul coming up. That's going to go against Rubino. Second and team foul number 1. 2 shots. Chloe Pattison is at the line. And you know, Todd, the thing is about when you and Debbie is really well equipped television-wise. She may have had a very strong consultant in that project for the 65-inch and the 55 in the bedroom, which are both less than 3 years old. But you know, if you have a 65, you know what's coming. It's a 75 or 80.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. You start looking at that 65 as being, you know, come on.
And that was at one point how the 45 was. But over time. Oh, Maya Erling. Are you something or what? Man, Maya Erling has 21 points, over half of what Glacier Peak has. They're up by 15 again, 41-26. Maya Erling has just been spectacular from the very first time she touched the ball in the first quarter and hit that three-pointer outside the arc.
Look at
that, some fancy.
Reed.
Geez, Harlem Globetrotters need a little video of that right there. 2 shots coming. She plays hard. Reagan Reed
is special.
She averages over 20 points per game. Now, she's off that right now at 6 points, and I have a hunch we could see more. Now, Rubino getting her third foul. That's team foul number 2. We got 2 shots for Reagan Reed. 4 in the first quarter, 2 in the second. This is her first trip to the foul line. A couple of changes for Glacier Peak. Grace Godinez is in and Kaylin Allison also in. Godinez averages 4 per game. She's a senior, and Allison is also a senior, averaging 6 per game. Beautiful release. That's a nice-looking approach at the foul line. Just picture perfect. You can really tell, Todd, the players that spend that extra time practicing their foul shots, just the form, the rhythm of, and you got to have your rhythm and your ritual at the foul line. How many dribbles, the little things. Oh, look at that underneath. Oh, you got to make that shot. You had the perfect pass from Collins. Sorry.
That would just
not going to hold back on that.
You've
got to make that shot. And I know she feels it, but you got to get it at the time. That was money in the bank right there. She had the deposit slip filled out, and the teller was ready.
Bank was open.
The bank was open. I think were they spinning the shot clock down? That's what Steve Landreau is looking for. Again, our officiating crew, a very good one. Donnie Johnson, Steve Landreau, and Sheriff John Brown. That's from I Shot the Sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
The Eric Clapton. All right, not that we want that to happen, but there we go, out of bounds.
Ball out of bounds, Glacier Peak basketball.
And that is going to go to the Grizzlies.
He's like, are you kidding me? Randy's down there. He's protesting that like a big, yeah.
Randy can be pretty animated, which we love. And he's
and
Brian too. I mean, these two are fun to watch. You take your eyes off the action for a second, look on the sideline, and you see 2 coaches that are totally into what they're doing. And I'm quite sure they, as much as you can, get along quite well, but there is that rivalry too. There's a traveling. That's just, now each team has 1 turnover here in the second half.
I'd have to agree with Randy on that last.
Well, I don't know. If that's a foul, she barely touched her.
Number 22,
Allison called for her first foul. Third team. This guy's doing a good job on PA too, especially when he gives us a plug.
Bob.
And we are broadcasting worldwide. I'm done with saying webcasting. We're broadcasting because it's a broad audience.
Yeah, well, it is broadcasting. I mean, what are you talking about, right?
I know. Oh, take it in is Reed. 10 points now. Watch out for her, folks. Watch out for her. She is good. Bingo! Gosh, that was just outstanding. Allison with her third three-pointer, 1 in each quarter, and just a brilliant pass from Aaliyah Collins. Aaliyah Collins has been playing a great game on both ends. 5 points, but, man, the defense, the passing, and she's just lightning quick. There, a couple shots at it, couldn't get it done. 1:40 to go, third quarter. Watch Collins here. Pops it out left side. That was a great pass. A little short on the shot. Good positioning for the rebound. And with the 3 fouls on Rubino, she had to come out. There's Erling. Wow, Maya Erling. 6 points in the quarter, 23 points in the game. Exactly half of the total that Glacier Peak has. And they have their biggest lead of the game at 46-30. Val's going to go against Erling. That would be her second.
Third.
Her third, team's 4th.
Make that third foul on Erling. 4 team fouls. Just 1 team foul against Lake Stevens. That could play a factor. Here we go. Underneath, that was a nice move. Corey Wilcox now with 6 points. Real smooth, real smooth. There we go. Collins dribbling through. Look at that penetration. Got through, just couldn't finish the deal there, and gets the basketball back. That was an excellent effort by Godinez to get that ball and kick it out. Here comes Erling. Pass left side. Wide open. Nope. She's been short on the last 2. That's going to go out of bounds. Last touch by Lake Stevens. 45.7 to go here in the third quarter, and Glacier Peak leads it by 14, 46-32.
They're still duking it out.
Oh, yeah. Special thank you to our great friends at Fred's Rivertown Ale House. Gotta love that down there at Fred's in Snohomish. Thank you.
I go for some of those nachos they make.
There you go. There's the inbound pass to Maya Erling. Back up top. Plenty of time. They can go into a half-court set here and really be patient, work for a shot. Collins looking around, seeing if she can see something setting up in there. And switching on to the man-to-man. All right, 9 seconds. You better make something happen now. Look at that. Collins just too much off the glass. They'll have a chance at one shot, although it looks like they're going to try to get it done pretty quick. We got a reach in. A reach around that time by Elise Waldall. That would be her first foul. Team number 5. No shots. Also, thank you to McDaniels Do-It Center on from the beginning, a charter sponsor, 10 years. So that means you go back to 2010. Uh-oh.
Who turned the lights off?
That was Carmen Long with the basket. I make that comment because it looks like a bank of lights went out. Did somebody just accidentally back into it?
I don't know.
Could be. That looks like a
it wasn't, because that wasn't a lights-out shot.
Not bad, though. That was, they go off again. Hold on. Come on. If somebody's backing into those lights, let's use some common sense. Underneath, look at that. That was amazing. Kaylin Allison getting it underneath to Madeline Toma. No, that's not right. We'll get the correct basket on that. And it's 48-34. 48-34.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow-through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200+ national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the fourth quarter. Glacier Peak 48-34 lead over Lake Stevens in a 2-3 zone to start things off for Lake Stevens. Here they come, the Grizzlies, scratching and clawing out of backcourt, and a miss. Great double team on the defense there. Forces a turnover. That's how you do it. 16 turnovers now for Lake Stevens. Glacier Peak strictly and fully by determination getting that done.
5 fouls, though.
Just one foul called against Lake Stevens, team fouls. There's Collins. Misses on it, and Lake Stevens ends up with the basketball. Now that we're in the fourth quarter, we start thinking about the Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game as well. And a special shout out to Gene Johnson Plumbing. Thank you, Gene. We appreciate what you do.
GNS Heating,
GNS Heating and Cooling and Air Conditioning.
They've given us a little extra for playoffs.
Oh, I love to hear that. That's how you make it work.
Number 5, Shaylin Sandy.
Sandy called for the foul. That's team foul number 2 on her. 6 team foul, so it's 6-1. Glacier Peak with the 6. Underneath, good move. Beautiful.
By number 22.
That's Reagan Reed. 12 points. Like I said, Reed's one of those that's going to allow Lake Stevens to stay in the game, and Glacier Peak will help Lake Stevens too if they turn the ball over. Fortunately for them, they did not. There's Maya Erling, drops it off to Rubino. Excellent. Erling's had a couple, 3 great assists as well. Timeout called, and that looks to be by Glacier Peak. It's a full timeout. 7:05 to go, fourth quarter. And the Grizzlies lead the Vikings 50-36 on STSPN.com.
We are all frustrated with the high cost of heating and cooling our homes. At GNS, we are completely changing the way you keep your home comfortable. Because we are Snohomish County's premier Lennox dealer, we can design a perfect system for you, one that will save you a lot of money on your utility bill. The Lennox Home Comfort System creates the ideal home environment. Enjoy innovation in every season with precise, quietly efficient Lennox heat pumps that keep your life simply perfect. Call GNS Heating, Cooling, and Electric today or visit us at gsheating.com.
We are back live here. It is fourth quarter action, 50-36 at Glacier Peak High School. Glacier Peak is leading Lake Stevens. I also just got another report from our South Sound Bureau.
Oh, nice.
Down in the Federal Way. Yes, that would be from the Ladeau family compound down there. And Mike Ladeau will be joining us for color tomorrow night. The proud Edmonds High School graduate who's up at least once a year with me. It's part of our friendship agreement. He's out as a friend unless he joins me at least once a year. You know
right,
how that is. You know me and my terms on things.
Criteria, yeah.
Yeah, criteria. Look at that defense. That forces a held ball. Who's it going to? It's staying with Lake Stevens. Anyway, so Mr. Ladeau, who will be joining me and us tomorrow night for the Mariner at Jackson game in the next week on the 5th, he sends a report and a great picture from his iPad down there in the Fed. And so he's enjoying – and I don't know, have I ever told you this before that we –
Look at him, we get down there.
That's a hell ball right there. Yeah, that big-time wrestling breaks out. But we call what you do affectionately, not just at STSPN.com, we call it Todd TV.
Yeah,
so he is – and it's growing. Timeout on the. That's an official's timeout. We'll keep it right here. We guess somebody's got to come out.
Somebody bleeding.
33, Elise Waldall into the game for Lake Stevens.
All right, I'm looking to see who's all out there. Erling's still out there. Coleman's,
Rubino.
Get the
antiseptic out.
Also, it's
crew.
See, Waldall's out there, and so is
Hazmat.
Malia Smith. All right, Hazmat. We wait for the yellow suits to show up. There's Collins. Yeah, so tomorrow night on Todd TV, it is going to be a great boys game. Mariner at Jackson, Mark Aucutt with Mike Ladeau and Todd Elvig. Now, will Sarah be joining us too? That is good by Waldall. 16-point lead. This is the biggest lead of the game right here. Tying the biggest lead for Glacier Peak. And a perfect time for them to be peaking.
Wow.
Great move by Baylor Thomas. She's got 13. Where would they be without her tonight? 5:40 to go in the fourth quarter. So thank you, Mike Ladeau, for the report from our South Sound Bureau. We got anybody tonight over like in Iowa that wants to send us a report? Our Midwest Bureau? Check and see who's out there tonight.
Let me see where they're viewing from.
Some of the regulars. That's just going to be the second team foul against Lake Stevens here. At the line is Rubino. That's a very familiar name up here in Snohomish County. Basket is good on the foul shot. It's fun now. I guess I won't say my exact age, but now that since I've been doing this up here since 93, just seeing second generations, Todd, coming through. Where you announce their parents or their relatives, uncles, aunts, and now you're starting to see the second round and them carry on the tradition. Back to a 16-point lead, 54-38. 5:25 to go fourth quarter. And, yeah, I think as a substitute logo, you should have Todd TV to be where you can pop it up on there once in a while. You know, have the same person who designed your previous logo do a Todd TV one, which would be you.
Okay.
There.
we've got Canada, Indonesia. Brazil.
Number 15, Madison.
Look at Rubino. Fabulous. And it's up to an 18-point lead, 56-38. Tough night as it's turning out for Lake Stevens. 4:57 to go, fourth quarter. We'll take a break. This is STSPN.
No break, because I want to go through this list.
Oh, no break. All right, let's go. Let's see who's watching here.
How about Trinidad?
And Tobago?
Yeah.
How many?
Japan.
Jeez. Vietnam.
Yep. Singapore.
So these people are watching in these.
Philippines, Mexico.
Isn't that incredible? You got the Bahamas.
Saudi
somebody
Arabia,
over in Russia.
I didn't even know they had internet in Russia.
No, I didn't either. I thought that. Well, I don't know if we'll see China.
Oh,
on there.
no, they got internet there because they interfered with our elections.
That's right. They interfered with the election in according to the certain individuals. So that's amazing. So now when we look on here, and you bring that up, if you could bring it up again. Now I see views. So does that tell us how many people are over there, or that they've gone on and off? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, they've gone on and off.
So, but we have, obviously Japan, Cambodia, Taiwan, Thailand. The word's out in Asia. You're owning Asia.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that right now. You're kind of
Do we
like.
have any sponsors over there in Asia?
It has to
we
be
gotta
great.
Get some.
We'd like to get a few sponsors over
Nike.
in Thailand. That would be awesome. Yeah. Get like in Japan, get Mitsubishi or something. Industrial products.
Belarus. What is Belarus?
Belarus. Is that? Oh, look at that steal. That's beautiful work right there. To Collins. Collins, take your time. She does. Take more time. Takes it in, 58-38. Lots of great enthusiasms out there on the court.
I got to get the score caught up with reading the countries.
Well, but it's exciting, really, and we just want to say hi to everybody throughout the world. I wish I could say to you hello to you in your native language, but it's enough for me to just try to get English right. So thank you so much for viewing. We really appreciate it. Spread the word.
Hey, here's a fun fact.
Oh, that's a fun fact right there. Reagan Reed now 5 in the quarter, 16 in the game. Yes, sir.
It turns out that there's more people in India that speak English than Canada, the U.S., and Mexico combined.
Isn't that something? I did not know that.
I think
that
it's just
foul is going to go against Monet Rundle. What's that?
I think it has to do with how large their population is.
Well, there's that too, but yeah, I would say that's true. But they're also a very well-educated country too.
They are.
So not just one language, but 2, 3. Over on the left side, Rubino. Oh yeah, she got fouled. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, you're kind of like Ozzy Osbourne or Queen. They love you in Asia. It's just, here too, of course. But internationally, you're a huge item, like in Japan.
Did you figure
I don't know
out
how
where
you
Belarus
walk down the
is?
streets of Tokyo without getting mobbed. What were you asking?
Belarus. Where's Belarus?
I think we can have that looked up from the Bureau. All right,
well,
we got a timeout.
She probably is listening. So yeah,
she is. I'm going to check with her right now down at the Magnolia Bureau. All right, we got a timeout call. It's a full timeout. We're going to check out where Belarus is. Not Polaris, but Belarus. And we'll be back with more. We'll have an answer to that. 58-41 is the score. 17-point lead for Glacier Peak they're in command of this one on STSPN.com.
McDaniel's Do-It Center is located in beautiful Snohomish, Washington. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years. They are proud to provide the Snohomish Valley with exceptional hardware, tools, lawn and garden, and sporting goods products. Their commitment to delivering legendary customer service and their outstanding employees continue to make McDaniel's the best and one of the most recognized do-it-best centers in the nation. Stop by and experience for yourself the difference between McDaniel's and the big box stores. Discover why so many people are choosing to shop at McDaniel's.
Yeah, I think they gave up on us on Facebook because we had about 40 people watching on there, and we're down to about 3.
Well, sometimes in a one-sided game it's going to go like that, but, and you're on multiple outlets. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and the STSPN.com brand itself,
correct.
Right?
That's correct.
So 4 different ways you can find us. It's virtually impossible not to be able to find us. She misses on that one. Todd's on networks they haven't even invented yet. Yep. Driving to the basket is Reed.
It seems a little disrespectful there.
What's that? Networks they haven't even. No, no. You will. Oh, Erling with a couple of shots at it.
Oh, I got somebody chiming in here. It's pronounced Belarus.
Waldau gets the basket. It's a 19-point lead.
That's funny.
Republic of Belarus, or how are they saying? Belarus. No, that sounds.
Does
that makes
sound
sense.
more sense?
Belarus. That makes more sense. No wonder we couldn't figure it out.
I went to public school, so I didn't.
Its capital is Minsk. Minsk. That foul is going to go against Allison. Second, 17th foul. At the foul line with the shots will be Bayward Thomas. Connects on the first. She has 14 points.
Somebody's out there laughing at me for saying Belarus. It's Belarus.
Belarus. Official languages are Belarusian and Russian.
Oh, so that's probably over there.
It is. I see a map of it. That's Madison Rubino. 8 points in the quarter and 10 in the game.
Rubino?
Yeah, Rubino's having herself a nice contest.
10 in the game?
She has 10 in the game. She has 8 in the quarter. 2:59 to go, fourth quarter. It is a 19-point lead for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. They're trying to go 2-0 against Lake Stevens. That's going to be team foul number 8. Foul is on Elise Waldau, her second.
Well, I think if you look at the, you've got it up there on your, what is that, Apple product there?
This year,
No,
both of them. It's like what I like to call my apple orchard.
I'm embarrassed for you.
Oh, stop that!
The iPad.
You didn't see the earnings report today, obviously.
I don't own any Apple. It's probably good to own it, but.
But you do have plenty of Alienware over here.
I've got some Ford.
Well, I'd like to have some Ford too. I'm still waiting for a part to return for my car repair. So it's another hot topic, but we're not going to go there. What are you looking at?
Well, I'm trying to see how many games are left because I think that this might clinch the
Lake
division.
Stevens has 6 left. Oh, no, they're not able. Are you talking about Glacier Peak? No.
I think they can clinch it tonight. Just about.
They got 6. Lake Stevens has 6 left, and Glacier Peak has 5.
Oh, okay. We got a couple more to go.
All right, I see what you're saying. Foul. Number 22, Reagan Reed called for the foul, her 15th foul. Wilcox will come into the game for Lake Stevens. We got a shot at the line there. The basket was good. One shot for Waldau as the basket was good, and she has that one rim out. 21-point lead for Glacier Peak. They're well on their way to a victory here tonight. Very hard for Lake Stevens to come back this deep into it. That's a great three-pointer by Bayward Thomas. She has 4 of them in the game. She's shot very well. But at 2:11 to go, 18-point lead. Todd, we need to start looking at who's our player of the game is going to be for Sarah to go get.
Yeah, I think I'm getting too used to football where I'm trying to figure out when at what point you clinch.
Oh, I think.
So they've got 4 games left.
Fourth foul on Rubino. Go ahead.
4 games left, and they'll still put them out.
Well, it would put Glacier Peak at 10-0, Lake Stevens at 7-2.
Right, so that'll put them 3 games ahead of Lake Stevens. So you can't clinch it until
you can't clinch it tonight.
Right.
First basket is good. Down to a 17-point lead. I mean, numerically it's possible, but just we'll see. I don't like to say a team's clinched it until it's absolutely in the bag.
Well, that's correct.
You want to be careful. You want to be respectful more than anything to the teams out there and to our viewers in Belarus.
Well, yeah, because Jackson's not that far back either.
Minsk is their capital.
Minsk.
Belarus. Minsk. Yeah.
That sounds like.
It's good to know where these places are.
That sounds Russian.
Great drive. Well, yeah, it is. Maya Erling. We go ahead with her as player of the game. She got 25 points. She's been amazing. Madison Rubino would be another one that we could look at, Aaliyah Collins, but that's an offensive foul. That's going to go against Reagan Reed. It'll be a 3rd foul. They're starting to add up now. 1:29 left to go, 4th quarter. So Erling has had an amazing night. offensively 25 points. Plus, she's done great with her passing.
Let's see.
And as Tom Lafferty would say, because I like to quote the Grand Poobah from time to time, she's also sold a bag of popcorn at the concession stand.
Well, who's the next closest point?
Well, it would be Rubino's got 10.
Oh, so she's about 15 points out ahead of everybody.
Yeah. Maya, I mean, to me, it's a slam dunk.
Yeah, it is.
It's just a matter of making sure she, you don't like to repeatedly give the T-shirts to the same person. However, they can always give them to their teammate. But Maya has just been amazing. And, I mean, right from the first touch when she hit that three-pointer on the right side outside the arc, she's been spectacular.
Well,
Her
we wound up
shooting has
having
just
to
been
give away shirts right in a row to Collins last year, so we go ahead and take the point.
I mean,
later.
I don't think the WIAA is going to get on the phone and talk to you about this.
Well,
there goes the.
I don't think they give out shirts.
No, they don't, but they might regulate it. 1:01 to go in the fourth quarter.
Lake Stevens basketball into the game for Glacier Peak. Number 21, Sydney Hill.
We got some substitutions coming in for Glacier Peak.
Woo, I'm going to get a phone call for that one.
Kailani Rookstool is coming in, the freshman. Also on board, I want to check this, that is Sarah Rubino and Sydney Hill. They're getting some other players some time out there. Way to go, Brian Hill. Tapped around, no foul, it's loose. 54 seconds. A little volleyball going on there without a net. Another foul, and they're just winding this one out. This is when it gets a little ugly. I don't think we're going to see a repeat in any way, shape, or form of that mess last week between Kansas and Kansas State. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. I haven't. I mean, I've been obviously I pay close attention to sports every day, but have you seen any disciplinary action listed on that yet?
I haven't.
I don't think I've seen anything. And there's got to be. I mean, it's got to be quick, too. I mean, after that mess.
Well, that was good for ratings.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a 22-point lead doing that kind of stuff is just, well, it's uncalled for if it's a close game. You don't pick up stools and stuff like that and turn it into a melee. Yeah, we know it gets intense out there. It's part of the game. Boys and girls, men and women. It gets intense. You want to win. You want to compete. That's why they're out there.
If I'm to be totally honest
Great
with
shot. Rundle coming through.
I would love to cover a game where there's a big melee. Not that I like the melee, but
Held ball possession arrow, Lake Stevens.
Dig out of this one.
Well, I don't think teams should be fighting, but if they're going to fight, I'd like to be the one covering
Have a melee.
Yeah.
All right. You want to be the one covering it.
Absolutely.
Well, since
can't
it
tell
would be
you,
high
you know,
school or junior
when
college,
that-
I prefer that not to happen around here.
When what you're talking about happened, you know that the internet just lit
Oh,
up.
well, there's that, too. It's like the major news stories. All right, Glacier Peak up by 16. They're going to win this one. They'll walk it out. 66-50 the final score.
35.
As Glacier Peak has won it by 16 points. And we're going to get our player of the game. And that is Maya Erling. She'll join us right after the timeout.
Every year, thousands of groups depend on Adrenaline Fundraising to help reach their financial goals. Adrenaline Fundraising is about developing leaders through commitment, work ethic, and follow through. Adrenaline has several products including gold cards, coupon books, cookie dough, donation programs, and many other options to help teams raise the funds needed for their programs. Adrenaline's new app called UpPay will help teams raise money while providing their supporters the ability to earn cash back on everyday purchases at places like Starbucks, Nike, Red Robin, and over 200 plus national retailers. Adrenaline Fundraising is this season's sponsor of the STSPN's Play of the Game Award.
We are live with Maya Erling. Maya, there's the camera right there. And congratulations, we're going to have a T-shirt for her too.
Thank you.
As the STSPN Player of the Game. A great victory for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies as they sweep Lake Stevens. Winning both games this year. Tonight it was 66-50. You were amazing tonight. You had an amazing first quarter with 10 points. And right from the start, you hit that three-pointer outside the arc right side. It's like, boom, you were off to the races. Tell us about this shooting night you had tonight.
Honestly, I didn't know that I was going to have it. I've been off a little bit lately, and, I think I just came out here confident. And I think that's what we just needed to get the game started. And it just kind of pushed us, and gave us the flow, and we eventually got into it.
Yeah, it seemed like, and early on, that you all collectively were shooting the ball really well. You build up a 15-3 lead, and it looked like you were going to run away with it, and then Lake Stevens came marching back, so you had to make some adjustments at that point. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's obviously a big part of basketball. I mean, the game's never over until the buzzer goes off until after the fourth quarter. So, I mean, the 2-3 zone, they hit us, start off in the man, then 2-3 zone. I think we just knew that, they're leaving us open on the arc, we're going to take it. And I think we played it smart, and we obviously got the win. So.
Another thing that was an issue in that first half were the turnovers, both teams. I mean, we're like, what's going on out here? These two teams, you guys are 13th in RPI, they're 11th. I mean, the top teams in the state. And it's like, what's going on there? What can you attribute that to?
Honestly, I think it's just.
Well, I think let me help you out a little bit here. One of the things I thought of was the fact that maybe you guys were just so pumped up to play each other that you were just going at such a level that you're literally passing above the rim.
Yes.
Would that be accurate?
We were. Yeah, they when they hit their 2-3 zone, we just kind of got a little frazzled. I mean, they're reading our passes correctly, and I think finally we adjusted to it after the second half. It was a little less turnovers. And, that's something we did talk about in the locker room, that we got to have less turnovers, especially, if we're going into the postseason, that's got to happen less.
It really does, because you're going to go deeper into the year. And so we're going to hear the band across the way. They're in true form. That's got to help, too. We appreciate your time. Player of the game from Adrenaline Fundraising. Maya Erling.
Kobe Bryant and his daughters.
Oh, yeah. Hey, that was we appreciate you saying that. How does that affect, a young player like yourself? I know I was devastated. How about you?
Oh, it was devastating to our whole team. And I think any person who's been affected by the game of basketball, that definitely was a hard thing to see happen. Especially that way, and especially a girl my age almost. It's so unfortunate to see it. Such a role model of the game. I think he inspired all of us, and in a certain way we all wrote something on our shoes tonight. Rest in peace, Kobe and his daughter. And it was a hard thing to see. I know we all took it some sort of way.
Well, in his memory, and his daughter's memory, and the people who passed away with them a couple days ago, I know that their memory and soul appreciate that, about recognizing them. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, of course.
That's awesome that you did. All right, Maya, we'll see you again.
Thank you.
You're a great player, and what a night you had.
Thank you.
Final score, 66-50. Maya Erling, our Adrenaline Fundraising Player of the Game. She will pose with the T-shirt as Todd gets set to go. We had a fabulous time tonight. The best part, as far as I'm concerned, is I get the chance to do it again tomorrow night. The one, the only Mike Ladeau will join me coming up tomorrow as we will be doing boys basketball at one of our favorite places, Jackson High School, the Mariner Marauders and the Jackson Timberwolves, two very good teams. It's a game we've been looking forward to, and we're going to bring it to you live on STSPN.com. Todd, Sarah, thank you so much. We want to thank and have a special thank you to all of our viewers in Belarus tonight and throughout the world. This is your home worldwide for high school sports. STSPN.com, where tonight's final score was the Glacier Peak Grizzlies 66 and the Lake Stevens Vikings 50 in girls basketball. Mark Aucutt saying winning is for tonight, sportsmanship is for a lifetime. Take care, have a great rest of your evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow night, right here